Good evening, everyone, and welcome to round number 5, Fun-Size Snickers, Part 2. As I start these out with intros, I'm going to start this out with what I think is the best come-on line that I've stumbled upon in my life. And here it is. Get ready. Are you from San Francisco? You're going to get one of two answers from that. Either yes or I wish. And if you can get a woman to say to you one of those two things, a woman that you don't know, well, then I think you're off to a good start. So, let's start fun-size Snickers out here. You'll have to excuse me, I'm trying not to babble here. There's a lot of information in my head. And it's kind of funny because it's all balancing on little pieces, like wrapped little pieces of Snickers. You gotta have priorities in life, I suppose. Okay, so fun-size Snickers. Now, let's start with an observation. What is more American than hamburgers? Two things. Junk food and passive aggression. Now let's be optimists and take the positive sides of those. Fun-sized candy and sarcasm. So, now let's jump to a story. Sunday Fun Day. Sunday Fun Day is here, and I don't know if this is a California thing or if it's everywhere. But I didn't hear about Sunday Fun Day until I came to California. So, as a participating citizen, I was out buying some beer one Sunday Fun Day. And as I walked out of the liquor store, I decided to crack open my beer, about 3 blocks from my house. And as soon as I crack open the beer, as soon as I crack it open, I hear, now just because it's in a paper bag, do you think that makes it okay? I look up and it's a cop. I was shocked. I hadn't seen a cop this side of 7th Street in like 2 years. And I was reeling because the way he spoke to me, the tone in his voice, he wasn't literally asking me, whether or not I thought it was okay. But I'm a literal person, so that's what I took from it. And since you tend to process the last thing somebody says first, in my head, because I've lived in a few different places, and well, in Germany, drinking beer in public was more common than people drinking water, and in Florida, people just didn't give a shit. You could drink beer and liquor from around Pensacola, Fort Walton Beach. You drink beer anywhere. I don't remember having any problems with that. So I had, I'm sitting here reeling, I'm thinking of all these things like, well, I think it's okay. We got on okay. I don't understand, and the thing was he was telling me, what he was saying was you're breaking the law. And, you shouldn't do that. But he could have called me over and treated me like, semi-respectable person, like, there's people looking at me, and, these people are, like, looking at me going, oh, here this guy, it must be his, 5th time, always drinking in public, look at that guy. And I had no idea, so I said to him, well, I thought if it was in a paper bag, it was okay. And he's like, no. He's like, it's not okay, and it's a big fine. And and now I'm thinking, big fine? I can't pay a big fine for this. What? Why didn't you just walk me over? Why didn't you just call me over, do what you do with speeders, who in my opinion are a lot more dangerous, and give me a freaking warning? And say, inform me, and then say, okay, well, what he did was make me dump it out. Well, I was the victim of what I call a very potent mixture of authority and sarcasm. Now, that is pretty American, but we're going to deal with that here. And what we're going to deal with is the fact that it wasn't what he said, it was how he said it. And now, how awesome would it have been if I would have ditched the beer, walked up to the cop car and said, officer, I am so sorry. I was out of control. Please take this fun-sized Snickers as a token of my gratitude. And cry, like, like I have no idea, you know. I just got dumped, you know. You know, I mean, with a cop though, I mean, as we're gonna go on here, you got to sell it with the cop. The cop, there's nothing you can do there, and there's nothing he could do there, and instead of you walking away with that taste of subtle oppression in your mouth, because there was nothing, I felt pinned up against the wall. You just cut off all options to somebody right there. Especially if you're dealing with alcohol, because you will be labeled as like intoxicated, and you know it's assault because he walks towards me, you know. And my experience with the cops, let's say in Alabama, was traumatic enough for me to just automatically roll over. So with this fun-sized Snickers, will take it a bit deeper. Now, let's say in a more normal setting, perhaps a customer service setting, you're talking to a lady who's trying to order a latte off you. She says, I want a medium vanilla latte. You say, you want a medium vanilla latte. And she's on the phone, and she's not paying attention. Excuse me, miss, you want a medium vanilla latte? And you know, she's like, what? And you say, a medium vanilla latte. That's what you want. Yeah. And okay, did you want that hot or cold? Hot. You know, and okay. Get the transaction, everything's done. The lady gets her latte, and she looks at it. She goes, this is supposed to be iced. And you say, in your head, you're going, oh, like, this happens frequently. And as all the customer service workers know, this transcends every branch of customer service. It is probably the most annoying thing, and it probably takes years off of our lives, because we can't address the truth. Just like me and the cop, I cannot address the literal truth here. I have to say to you, well, miss, I'm sorry, I must have misheard you. Let me get that for you. Here's a free drink. You know, keep mishearing what I say. So, you know, but this can all be resolved. You say, you know, and let's just say the lady's particularly nasty, and you know, I say, miss, I misheard you. No, I said, you know, no. Well, that's when you pull out the fun size ammunition. You say, miss, I'm terribly sorry. Here is a fun size Snickers. Please take this as a. If I can make it up to you, please just take this. And you don't have to cry, but you can. You're like, oh, God, you know my life. I'm a barista. You know, you can do that. But the cool thing is with this situation, you know, since you're not dealing with absolute authority, you're kind of dealing with, you know, the abstract, although enslaving notion of customer service. You can be, you know, yeah, fun-sized Snickers, you know, sorry about that, lady. You know, fact of the matter is you're putting a fun-sized candy out there, and, you know. Now, the thing is I think you need to be able to sell it. Now, you sell it, you say you're sorry, you are just so deeply sorry. Like, we use that good old American, and what we talked about, it's sarcasm. You know, the Irish people I hung out with were good at. English people are just vicious. They're like sharp knives with sarcasm, so much so that I would hesitate to hang out with them. The Irish are a lot more fun with it. Americans are a mixture of both. I'm joking, but I'm not. You've gained weight. I'm joking, but I'm not. And so we can take that, because that's like a fourth dimension of meaning right there. Combine the body language and what is said and what is not said, how it's said. You do the fun-sized Snickers. Now, if we can get everybody to realize that we have this amazing, you know, we learn sarcasm at a very young age, and we know it so well that we don't realize the complexities our minds go through in order to create that. And the funny thing is in customer service, it's so banal sometimes that I think we could all benefit from a little creative motivation. And what's more motivating than having ammunition that people can't say shit back to? The cop. What is the cop? what can you say back? The cop knows there's no legal framework for receiving a fun-sized Snickers, and the lady knows. She takes that. If you sell that and you just please take the money, like, you know, you treat that fun-sized Snickers like it's your rent money. That lady will walk away, and even if she's indifferent, let's just say she wasn't paying attention and she just thinks she can just take it out on customer, you know, it's just a customer service worker. They're just there, like, they're punching bags, like, what, you know, and I'm being nice to them because I said thank you, you know. She'll walk away from that wondering, what is that, you know, what, do they really value the fun-sized Snickers, or was I just a total bitch? The thing is, we can solve three things with that. The social indifference, because indifference comes from a supremely oppressed or a supremely ignored group of people. And when you walk into McDonald's, 90%, my statistics again, 90% of the people, they see the McDonald's outfit, you're not a person who eats and breathes and pays rent. You're a McDonald's worker. There's another realm of person. You're kind of like a literal pillar that happens to be able to talk. And this does transcend all forms of customer service, especially in America, where we're kind of forced to wear uniforms and give up our individual identity for the corporation, the company, whatever. So anyway, we can solve three things. Let's say the indifference, let's say maybe the economy that's a bit speculative, but now if we can get enough people. Think about how many service workers there are out there. Just think about people in general. You know, in America, we have, you know, in a classless society, we have like an infinite level of classes we group ourselves into. You know, and in between those classes, and even within them, there's pecking orders. So we get enough of this sarcasm that we take for granted, then we can generate some serious dough. Because I know if I could, you know, stick up for myself without the risk of losing my job, you know, just to say, hey, look, I'm not trying to hurt you, but you got to pay attention to what you're saying to me. Because now you said that to me, people think it's my fault. Like, and this happens a lot, just because it's the default. Because maybe you know it's your fault, maybe you don't. But the default is you blame it on me. And then everybody, you know, my workers look at me, or, you know, my coworkers look at me and they say, you know, way to go, buddy, because that, you know, my coworker just made that drink, you know. Like, hey, wasting my time, you know. If it's busy, it gets kind of a pain in the butt. Well, let's just say we take these and we, on a mass level, start using them as ammunition. And we also gain some creative power from that. Now, here, I'm going to have to stop here because, yeah, I'm on 13 minutes, which is way past most people's attention spans, especially for some man who's on an apparent rant. I would like to thank my friends Michelle and Coco, who I do not know. I will have you know this is not a rant. This is a video bloggertation, as I have notes. People who are ranting don't rant off notes, okay? Now, stay tuned for Fun Size Snickers Part 3. Make some comments. Let me know what you think. Because I'm single and I'm looking for a second job. So, alright. Good round 5, everyone. And enjoy the rest of your, well, over here it's beautiful, day.